Oh, hey guys, it's Clayton here from Idiot Savant, and today I'm going to tell you guys a little story about how me and one of my really good friends seem to be surrounded by, well, trouble. And when I talk about trouble, I mean a lot of it. I mean, there was no sparing of it for me and a dude I would consider to be my brother, Ben. So, from a very young age, I've been friends with this guy since about 5th grade. I can tell you from the start, we were both really big troublemakers, so it did not help our cause at all, right? So this story I'm going to tell you guys today about is going to be about the time that there was a hammer thrown, and
We have taken objective Edward.
and I kind of got blamed for it, and so did he. We both kind of got blamed for it, though neither of us did it. So here's how it goes. So one day, I think it was somewhere around the middle of fall, I'd say. I was still in school at the time, and my dad had been out in the back deck fixing something up, right? And here I am, you know, just being a kid, a normal everyday average Clayton, and I'm out back letting the dogs out, you know. And I didn't even notice the hammer was there. I didn't even see a hammer there when I initially went out onto the back deck. So I come inside, and I'd say about 3 or 4 hours later, the hammer comes up missing off the back deck. It's gone off the face of the fucking planet. Don't know where it went. Like Jesus must have swooped down and thrown it into our backyard, right? So my dad, you know, he's like asking me, you know, did you throw the hammer, or did you take the hammer and put it somewhere? And then I was like, no. Well, he asked me, did you take the hammer and put it somewhere? I said, no. And so he's like, well, who did it? You know, and then my dad's saying is, it can't just grow legs and walk away. So I was like, well, I didn't do it, man. But of course, you know, I was getting blamed because I was the troublemaker. And to this day, I still deny this, by the way. I still deny I did not throw the hammer, guys. There's gonna be no plot twist like, yeah, I actually threw the hammer, I'm a savage. No, I didn't throw the hammer. I'm not, like, I don't know. Why would I enjoy throwing a hammer? I really don't know. Why my dad thought I would? I really don't know. But, so he was like, well, you know, if it wasn't you, then it was Ben, and Ben can't come down anymore. So me and Ben for like a month are basically banned from, well, we're basically banned from each other for a period of time in there, right? And we just can't figure out who threw this hammer. So literally me and Ben would meet at school and come up with conspiracy theories of who threw this hammer. Like at one point it was my dog had took the hammer and walked off with it. At one point it was my dad trying to frame us. We try to come up with any explanation for this because neither one of us honestly threw it. Ben is like super honest, unfortunately, at times, and I just don't see any reason to throw a hammer into our backyard when I could easily have just, like, if I would have known where it was, I would have just been like, yeah, I threw it, or I took it somewhere and I'd just go pick it up. So the funny thing is that this hammer ends up like all the way out by our what would be considered like a fire area, like a bonfire place. Now, for me to throw that hammer, I would have to been fucking Thor, because if I threw it that far without it bouncing, and there were no bounce marks in the yard, because trust me, I would have noticed, and so would my dad, because we're both yard freaks. I mean, you would have known if it would have bounced. No bounce marks. Like, literally, I would have had to thrown it like Thor, lobbed it into the air, and had it come down, hit straight into the ground, and stuck where it was, but miraculously, my stepmom found it. So then it came up with it was my stepmom. I was like, yeah, she did it. She tried to frame me because, you know, I'm a younger kid. You know, I'm a younger version of myself being like, it's everyone that is not me. So, we're just trying to figure it out, and this is truly the epitome of like me just being always in trouble when I was a kid, because literally I refused to. I should have just like been like, yeah, I did it. I threw the hammer. Savage. Like, no. The Savage wasn't around then, nothing was. I was like, no, I was an independent black woman of a child, and was like, no, I will not take the blame for this. I did not do this. You can't say that I did it because you don't know. And so it started this whole fiasco where I realized from that point on in my life I was always going to be in trouble, right? So like literally the amount of times I was in trouble because of my defiant personality has been an expungent amount. Like, I'm talking we one time got blamed for knocking over a horseshoe pit. And I was like, I didn't even touch the horseshoe pit. The horseshoe pit was actually falling over on its own beforehand.
Objective Charlie.
And it fell all the way over finally, and then I got blamed for it. Another one was, like mysteriously things would get moved or like would come up totally missing, and like I actually was known for doing this. I won't lie. I was nothing short of a evil little bastard when I was a child, and I definitely was not a saint by any means. So I would like do things like I would purposely take things and hide things, or I'd purposely eat things, but honestly there were things that would come up missing, or like things that would be eaten, and I'm like, dude, I wish I had eaten that. I wish I had known those were in the house. Like I would have enjoyed that, but instead no, I didn't eat it. And there was quite a few times where something similar to that happened, or like something would get moved, and I'm like, why would I want to move it? I don't know. I mean, I was known, and I won't lie at all to anyone, I was known for like taking like light shades because they'd make people mad and tilting them, or taking pictures and slightly askewing them because it would upset my stepmom, and I thought it was absolutely hilarious because I could see both her and my dad just kind of get this like face of like aggravation, and I loved it. Like I was a sadistic small child. Like I wasn't really small. I was actually kind of a big kid. I was about 6 foot when I was in 5th grade, I think. I was bordering 5'10", so I was far from a small child. I was a small child mentally because I was still like, yeah, let's fuck
We
with
have
everybody.
lost Objective George.
And I still thought the word penis was really funny for some odd reason. Like sometimes penis is used correctly, I guess it can be funny, but that's a whole nother story. But this story is about this damn hammer and my troubles and my woes of how I always was the one in trouble. So I was also known for being an extremely intelligent child, but not liking to do my homework at all. So like literally I would complete the homework and then not turn it in because I'd get bored in class and like stare at my like hands or something, or like read, or like think in my brain like how stupid everyone was around me and how I just wanted to go home and sleep or play video games, which, you know, probably has aided to my addiction of this game here, Battlefield 1. So I was always known as like this troublemaking kid. Like I could never get away from it. I could be a perfect saint, and right there I do not know what I was doing. I'm an idiot. I do not apologize, but I could have been a perfect saint and still managed to have done something wrong throughout the day. Now, is my dad kind of a picky man? Yeah, I mean he's an old school guy. He expects things done right. He's not one to, you know, I guess skip on anything. He never has been. You know, my dad was born in 1961, and my dad was born into my dad's father, my grandfather, was a military man. So I can definitely see why my defiant personality would get me in a little bit of trouble in a situation like with my father, because, you know, he was taught to, you know, always respect elders and always listen, and I was like, never. I was that never kid, you know, that one kid that you always wanted to punch in the head because he said never. Like, you know, everyone has like that one niece or nephew that's like, no, refusal. Like, I don't have to do what you tell me. But that's basically what it was. I was just a super troublemaking kid who just can never get out of trouble. Oh, I just hit my desk with my hand, and I had something metal in my hand. I bet that sounds great to you guys. But yeah, and like I don't know, maybe if you guys have had similar experiences, send me in your stories. I would love to read those for like the viewers and such, because I know this video is about to come to an end. It's only about 16 minutes long, the clip is. But, you know, if you guys want to, you know, send me in some stories of your own, I would love to read them. I'd love to hear them. I know some of the people who have subscribed to my channel actually know me personally. If you guys want to, like, remind me of stories that me and you got in trouble, or me and you have had something funny, I would love to hear that. I mean, some more things that I'd like to talk about while I'm here, and, you know, I just told you guys this little itty bitty story, is that lately, because of Battlefield 1, I've gotten really into World War 1, and totally forgot about some stories that I learned, so I'd also like to update you guys that I'm probably most likely going to be doing some more stories on this. Like, I don't know, just because I want to. And that was just a little weird cutaway from what I was talking about with my stories in my life. So back to the trouble. Back to the me being constantly in trouble. I'd say one moment that defines itself is I was pretty young. I'd say, I don't know, it's when my family lived in this house that I will forever know as the green and white house, because I'm a Michigan State Spartan fan myself, and you know, since my house is green and white, I was like, heck yeah, man, I'm down with that. But the thing that I think defines my trouble at that house was I remember one time I went to go slam the door on my sister Courtney, because me and my sister Courtney have always fought ever since we were young. So I slammed the door on her, and she ever so happens to stick out her hand while she's trying to like half punch me and stop the door. And she smashes the glass with her hand and gives herself, like, I think there's like 3 or 4 stitches in her hand. So there was that, which was always great. Another moment is that my sister had to do the dishes one night, and we had something, I think, like baked spaghetti, and we had it in this big pan. Now my sister is always going to be involved in a lot of the shenanigans that I ever so happen to have caused, because I think we had like baked spaghetti, and she got super angry at me because I refused to help her, because I was being, you know, I was being a boy. I was just like, no. And she stuck it under cold water really fast. It shattered and it cut her hand up. So like a second time that I've caused my sister injury. And then, I mean, it was my fault. I can't deny it. It was totally my fault. If I hadn't have, if I hadn't have pissed her off, she probably wouldn't have stepped up or been helping her. She probably wouldn't have been so eager to get it done, and she would have been okay with letting that wait a second. But instead, I made her mad, and wow, I got blown up by a tank right there. But instead, I made her really mad, and she got cut like really bad. I think that one was worse than the first one, because I remember in the first one I slammed the door on her. We were like, I don't even really know why, but I like ran up my street like screaming for somebody to help. Like, she just got cut. I mean, it's not like there was fucking Michael Myers in my basement or anything. She just got cut by some glass. I mean, she was fine. She would have thrown a towel over it. I remember when the paramedics arrived, I saw one of the paramedics kind of smirk, like, wow, true children. They're like freaking out because one of them got hurt, kind of, and I was like, hey, like, I could tell. I was like, don't judge me. I was scared. But I mean, just the amount of trouble I've caused in my life is relatively like funny to me. At the same time, it amazes me how I managed to keep getting in trouble. Like, I remember, oh my lord, I think one time I got accused by somebody like a few blocks down from my road of cutting their tires because my my sister wasn't exactly friends with one of their, I think their daughter. And I just know it was one of their family members, and they saw like I always rode around on my bike, and they were like, you did it. And I was like, whoa dude, like, what are you talking about? I didn't do anything. But I still got made. I still made it, and then they threatened to call the cops on me, but luckily they didn't know my name or anything, so I just like left. They were like, you're gonna stay right here. I was like, see you later, man. I didn't do shit. I was like, I think I was like 12 when that happened. I mean, the amount of, I mean, and then trouble has never ceased to amaze me, by the way, too. As I've gotten older, it's just progressed into more adult types of trouble. So I totally, for a little while, and you can judge me on this all you want, but it was an honest like mistake. I totally forgot that you had to sign up for the draft, and it's especially because I was the only boy in my family. I thought like if you were the only boy, you'd have to sign up for some odd reason. I just was brought under that impression, and I was like, oh man, I don't have to sign up. So I got threatened by the American government to go to jail. That's, which, you know, was just fabulous. You know, I love getting threatened by the American government to go to prison. I think it was like 30 years they said. Which would have been tons of fun, you know. 30 years in prison, chump time. I could do 30 years in prison on my toes. Not really. I'm a scared little white bitch, and I need to stay as far away from prison as it. No, I'm just kidding. I just need to stay away from prison. It's probably not made for a person like me. I'm just not that hardcore. You know, my dad's a biker. That doesn't make me a thug. I mean, my thug card probably was revoked at birth when they were like, this kid's gonna be a gamer. Yeah, this kid's gonna be a gamer. So, that was my story for today, and I just wanted to talk a little bit and get some stuff off my chest. Thank you guys for listening. I'm just gonna end this clip out with saying this is probably gonna be posted sometime on Friday, so if this is posted sometime on Friday, have a good weekend. I really hope you guys do go out Monday, have a good Halloween, because I won't be posting until sometimes next week, at the end of next week. And do you, and don't cause any trouble on Halloween, please, people. I don't wanna hear about, you know, people getting killed on Halloween or anything like that. But this was, you know, really fun talking to you guys, and, you know, getting to tell you a little bit about myself and maybe some of the stuff. And like I said, if you guys have any stories about me and you, be sure to send them in. While here I'm about to die and this game is about to end, and you guys should see the way I die. The way I die, I look absolutely fabulous, I should say, if I do say so myself. And it also says victory after I die. Bang, right there. So I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys for watching.